I feel like it always takes more than two, less than 10 takes for this to work. Hey friends, welcome back. As you can tell by the whining in the background, the first life update is that October lives in New York now. So I wanted to give y'all a quick life update as something of a part two to the first life update that I did, which was at the end of June. So I'd been back in New York for maybe 2-3 weeks at that point, and now it's been 3 months. So I wanted to check in about what it's been like being a new teacher, being a virtual teacher, being a full-time grad student, and some personal growing that I've been doing. So to jump straight into how teaching is going, none of my students have found my YouTube channel yet, or at least haven't talked to me about it. So that's good. I kind of knew since I made this channel that I was going to be a teacher. So if you watch my stuff, there's nothing on here that I wouldn't talk to an 11-year-old about, because they're 11. They're gonna find it eventually. So if you did, hey, it's Miss Alcina. It's, to be honest, it's been really difficult. I used to think that one of my goals in life was working from home. Not like this. It's definitely been extremely demanding. And for whatever lack I felt in life when I was unemployed for like a solid chunk of for a solid chunk of 2019, like I didn't work from December to March. Whatever lack I felt in my day in terms of time, of like, I don't feel busy, I don't feel productive, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I have that void doesn't exist anymore. Like right now I'm filming this. It's a Saturday afternoon. I have lesson plans that I need to do, and to be honest with y'all, this is hard. Like, I knew it was gonna be hard, and as we've discussed previously, there are a lot of teachers in my family, and so I know the fortunate thing is that I knew that this was coming. Like, I knew all of the parts, but it's different when it's your responsibility. And I think also what's really challenging is that I'm a full-time graduate student right now. So I'm getting a master's of arts in teaching in elementary education, and juggling work with being a student it's really challenging. Like I said, today's Saturday, and I'm just thinking, like, how do I maximize my time so as to get everything that I need done and still have some semblance of free time. As y'all saw, Miss Dog lives in New York now. So I picked her up from North Carolina 2 weeks ago. I like literally left from work, picked up Brianna, and we went after both of us had like essentially full days. And we got there at 4 in the morning, you know, woke up at 10, had a day in North Carolina, and then got up at 8 a.m. the next day and drove back. And that was 2 weeks ago, and I really feel like I have not recovered from that. Like, basically, as soon as I got back, I got a cold. And it was a cold. I got a COVID test and it was negative, thankfully, but like I can feel the physical stress in my body. And I'm not happy about it, you know? So, like, thinking about all the stuff that I need to do is making me stressed right now. Um, I will say that this past week was the first week that I really thought to myself, why did I do this? Like, there's always something that I could be working on. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, like, I don't take teaching lightly. It's not just something to do. Like, I feel like there's a huge responsibility as an educator to be performing at a high caliber. And like I said, like, I knew that I was gonna feel tired like this, and so I'm not like shocked or anything. And I'm able to kind of calm myself by telling myself like how I feel right now is a phase. I love my students. I am learning a lot about myself through them. And it's interesting, like some of the students that are the most rambunctious, I will say, the most energetic, are the ones that I'm really like, okay, we need to be best friends. I've heard a lot of teachers say that, like, those are the students you really need to be best friends with. So like this past week, like I said, I was just like drained. You know, I was pretty sick at the beginning of the week. Now it's just like lingering because I'm stressed out. But I was like sick last weekend, and as soon as I talked to my students on Monday, I felt better. And that is a good sign to me. So as far as like the actual interaction with kids, even thus far, it's been rewarding to build relationships with my students and their families. And that was part of it that I didn't really think about, or, you know, yeah, I didn't put that much thought into what it would be like to be basically all day texting parents, calling parents just to check in. Um, but that's felt really good. I also will say, as of right now, I love my grad program. Definitely the best part is my peers. I definitely feel like I'm in a solid cohort, and it makes me excited to be part of a community of people that are more or less on the same page. You know, got into teaching for a particular reason, and we're going through this experience together, even though we might be in different parts of our careers. You know, like, I'm totally new to teaching. There are people that have been teaching for years and like now are getting their masters. So I've definitely been learning from those peers and also really valuing those interactions as well. To talk about teaching virtually and going to school online, I think how I'm feeling as of late is just a bit of FOMO around, like, I wish I could hang out with people. You know, I wish I could hang out with the other teachers or hang out with the other people in my program. And it's definitely challenging because I work out of my bedroom. And so there really oftentimes doesn't feel like there is a break in the day. For a while, my desk was facing my bed, and that just like wasn't it. Like, at least now I've moved it to in front of a window, but might have to figure something out there. What I've been thinking of lately is when I get kind of pessimistic and think to myself, like, COVID ruined my plans. You know, I wanted to have my own apartment, whatever. Um, I'm reminded of stuff that I didn't think about as being important that now I have. So, for example, like having the dog here, my parents, my family's pet, my first like real pet, my pet cat, died last year. And so my parents have been kind of thinking of getting a new pet, but like weren't really sure. And like now October is here, and when I tell you this dog like is the baby of the family, like she has every toy now. She has her weight in treats. And I had to say, like, y'all, she's not eating dog food anymore. Like, she's subsisting off of treats, and I need her to eat this dog food. So she's like totally spoiled. And even just that, like, having help with October, you know, I'm having these long days. I don't know how I would do that without other people around me to help me take care of her. And I think just by and large, like so much of how I felt in North Carolina was loneliness. And I think I talked about this in that last life update. So much of how I felt was just loneliness, was just like an emptiness that I had never experienced. And so, you know, not just living at home, but like being in my hometown, like not just close to family, but like at home, is definitely something that I didn't realize I needed, and that was important to me. Speaking of being alone, something I've been reflecting on this week is that I think by the end of this month, that will make like 7 months that I've been single or something like that. I think it's 7 months, like the majority of 2020. I almost said 2019. The majority of 2020. And I've just been reflecting on those feelings, like that I have spent the better part of the last however many years, probably 7, but let's say 5, like the past couple of years. I think this is the longest I've been single in a while. And I've been trying to appreciate that instead of thinking like, oh, there's so much stuff I have to go through by myself, you know, or have to process stuff by myself. And again, just changing my mindset about stuff. I've also been thinking like, okay, but I get to spend that energy that I do still have on myself. And in a moment of like, what am I doing this week, I had kind of had an epiphany of like, okay, I need to, part of the reason why that last relationship ended is because we had said like we need to work on ourselves. And it made me think like, oh, this starts with me. And not in the way that people say, oh, you have to love yourself and or no one else will. I don't think that that's true, because a lot of people don't love themselves, and that doesn't mean they're not worthy of love. Sometimes you need other people to teach you. But what I mean is like, my brain is so hardwired of like relationship, other people, and turned outward, that this week I realized like I need to be in a relationship with myself. I need to like myself. I need to be attracted to myself. And if there are things that I'm not, which there definitely are, then those are places that now that I just have me to worry about, that I can focus, you know? I definitely feel like my relationships with my friends are a lot stronger, which I'm grateful for. And I remember like a couple years ago, I was talking to someone and I was saying, your partner is so lucky to have you. Like, it makes me think that person must also be wonderful that you would be coupled with them. And sometimes that's true, sometimes that's not. But the person I was talking to said that back to me. You know, I was like, that's true for your partner, the person I was with at the time. And in having this conversation with myself this week, I realized like I need to feel like that about myself. You know, I could have been anybody, but I'm myself. You know, it's a privilege to be myself specifically, because this is all that I have. And also, I talk here and there about like, oh, this is how I pictured myself, or this is what I wanted, or whatever. But I'm pretty good at making the life that I want, or working on myself and making changes. If there's something I don't like about myself, I try and work on it. And so, like this is it. This is who I have to focus on right now. And I've been trying to, while living at home and saving money, I've been trying to invest in myself. And that's something that's like new to me. Not just making big purchases, but making big purchases in cash and knowing that they're like in the long run, this is an investment into myself. So like going to doctor's appointments, or like I've been getting a lot of work done on my car because I'm paying it off. My first car was a lease. So this car, I'm like, no, I'm going to take care of it for real. Like doing different stuff like that isn't an investment in terms of it'll make me money later. No. But, I like when I went to the eye doctor this week, I like panicked and was like, this is a crazy amount of money that I just spent. And I had to remind myself, I spend at least 12 hours a day on a computer, at the minimum 12 hours a day. And I was an English major in college. Like I have been straining my eyes for years straight. So to go to the eye doctor and say, tell me what to do, tell me what I need and I'll pay for it and I can afford it, that's big. That's big. And also it's scary because, this time a year ago, was I working? Yeah, I was a temp making $14 an hour part-time, so to drop like hundreds of dollars at the eye doctor, hundreds of dollars at the mechanic, like wasn't a thing. Or to be saving money wasn't a thing, like at all. So that's been interesting. And even like I know obviously like most of the stuff on this channel is like, yes, the conversations that we're having right now, similar stuff, but a lot of it is focused on like, disposable income type of purchases, like beauty stuff. And even with stuff like that, I've explained this before, like makeup is easy to buy, hair products are easy to buy. Even a $20 hair product, which is very expensive for one thing, for hair, that's not $500 at the eye doctor. You know what I mean? And so I've noticed that some of my like more impulse spending has gone down because now I'm thinking like, no, I'm trying to save money to buy furniture in a couple months, and I have the what's the word? Not capital. Maybe capital. Have the money to be able to do that, or to have that mindset. So that's been interesting to try and process, like, okay, how does my relationship with money and buying things look different? As far as how minimalism is going, I guess, like I said, I have been buying little kits of stuff, and that's been nice because it takes me like 4 or 5 times to get rid of a product, like 4 or 5 uses, and then know if I like it or not. So like the Oyin, I really like, but I realize I just like my hair with gel more than like even the mousse stuff. I'm really sad to see her go, but just not my fave. But it feels good to try different stuff and like, no, I'm not wasting anything if I don't like it. When it comes to makeup, after I did that whole no buy, I feel like I have that collection that I was talking about of like, okay, I only want to have stuff that I love. There's maybe a couple things that I'm not too sold on, or like stuff that I just literally can't use right now because my skin's a different color than it is at other points in the year. But in doing that experiment and finishing stuff and then having to think, what do I actually like that I need to replace this with, I've gone back to stuff that's like my favorite that I'm not just gonna throw away because I don't like it. You know what I mean? That was the goal of that. So, you know, I'm doing a good job with that. And just to give myself some shout outs, I've been doing a phenomenal job saving money. I've been doing a phenomenal job of resting. Like, actually, like, as tired as I feel, like, literally, this is all concealer because my dark circles are purple. But I sleep 8 to 9 hours a night. So I've been doing a really good job resting. I'm doing a self-care challenge, self-care September, where I just have to commit to doing something every day, and it's making me more conscientious of what taking care of myself looks like, because a lot of it doesn't involve spending money like the self-care industry wants you to think or whatever. I've been doing a good job lately of staying more even keel, which is language that a therapist I was seeing this year said, you know, like being more just emotionally regulated, or like in teaching, it's called emotional constancy. Like when stuff happens, you have to just always be right here. Having a pretty even voice helps with that when teaching. Like I don't yell. I can't. So so that's good. What else? Yeah, I've been doing, because I am really thinking to myself, like, okay, my romantic life looks different than it has really at any point in my adult life. Like, I know for a fact I do not want to get into a relationship. And also there's a pandemic, so I'm not meeting anybody anytime soon. Because that part is not like draining, frankly, I have energy for other stuff. And really I've just been taking stock of my friendships and really just valuing my friends more. Those are some shout outs for myself, because I do think that that's important to think about all the things that I'm doing well. I have a tendency to tell myself, oh, I'm doing a bad job at why am I doing whatever. I'm trying to work on that. So all in all, I'm doing well compared to the bulk of 2019, let's say, where I just felt very lost, not purposeful, unfulfilled, like a loser sometimes. And again, I had to interrogate that, like, why is my sense of self so tied to jobs? Compared to that, I even apart from like teaching, like in, you know, being in school, like I'm working on my professional self and my career, but even just in myself, I feel better. So that's good. Like, it feels good to know that I'm tired from something that I care about. What else? Before I go, my hair is mad long. It does not show it because my hair is very healthy, so it shrinks a lot. But literally all I had to do was stop cutting my damn hair, and I think when I was still in North Carolina, my hair was like to here. So it's growing, and I'm proud of that. So hopefully next time I have a life update, my hair will be in a ponytail down my back, and I'll have like $5,000 in savings. Okay. I'll see you in my next video.